Tree is a character where it feels like every single episode the writers are trying to find a new way to get him eliminated. Tree is a very fun character, having a lot of fans in BFB and early The Power of Two. Tree is a very funny, but also can be serious sometimes character with a cool Australian accent that separates himself from the other contestants. Feels like he's a very well-rounded character and has a lot of fans, but as of recently, it feels like the writers are finding any reason to get Tree eliminated after Death Pact again has been put up for elimination almost 3 times in a row on a team with characters like Marker, Black Hole, and Fanny where they know they're going to get votes. It's pretty obvious that they want Tree eliminated. But it's deeper than just him being on a team with fan favorites and him being up for elimination a lot. He has been in the bottom 2 twice in the votings, as we've seen with other characters like Fanny. Characters that get put in the bottom 2 at least multiple times get a pretty big arc within the story and makes their character more memorable, more likable, and get a lot more fans. Obviously, Fanny's kind of a bigger extent to that, but we've seen that with other characters as well. However, this has not happened to Tree at all, and if anything, ever since he's been in the bottom 2 twice, it feels like he's been getting less and less screen time. Every single episode, it feels like he's less relevant to the story, and he's literally just saved by the mercy of his own core fan base within the show. They did this whole team swap where they put the Death Pact people again on the same team and then added Pin, who's already a fan favorite and is going to get votes no matter what. And then making Tree shapeshift into a bigger tree and make him pretty much useless for a couple of episodes makes this point pretty clear. And having Black Hole and Fanny have this huge arc within the story and at least making Marker somewhat relevant in the storyline, but Tree just is not at all, I feel like just doesn't do his character good enough service. And it's annoying when you see patterns like this, because in earlier BFB and TPOT, we see characters get purposely written out by writers. I've already went over this in my other videos with the freesmart alliance, but there have been so many other times in BFB where the writers purposely underwrite a character like Bubble just to get them eliminated because the writers don't want them in the show anymore. I've said this in a video before, people critiquing my criticism of jacknjellify underwriting characters within a show, but I feel like the main criticism comes when the viewer voting is the main thing of the show and you are eliminating a character from the show. What is the point of having a viewer voting system if you're purposely trying to get a character written off the show? Just write them off without undermining them and overplaying other characters, because it also takes screen time from other characters they don't want off the show. And they must know they're underwriting Tree. I mean, when he's in the bottom 2 twice, you don't give the character less screen time than the episode before and before and before. Like, that's obviously a conscious decision they're making in the writing room. I feel like they're just trying to make Tree's character as useless as possible for his team, and as soon as Tree gets voted out, and it could most likely be this elimination, I would not be surprised if it was, I guarantee you Death Pact again won't be losing any more challenges for a while. Because I bet they want to bring around characters to the merge into the final stages of the show, like Fanny, Marker, and Black Hole, and even Pin. But there are also clearly characters they don't want to bring into the end of the show and don't really care for writing anymore, and you see that with characters like Barf Bag and Fries and other characters like that. And even TV, who is currently in the show, and I'm not a big fan of TV, but it's because he has nothing to do in the show. He does nothing. It's not like I don't want to like TV, but it's just a victim of the writing, and that's what's happening with Tree. Tree's losing all of his popularity because of the writing, because Tree in the beginning of Teapot was easily one of the most popular characters in the show. And again, I don't know if there's a new writing team or whatever, I really haven't looked too much into like the details of it, but Tree has lost all plot relevance basically. And it feels like now there are clear main characters in The Power of Two in the last couple episodes, and it's obvious Tree isn't one of them. And it wasn't even like Tree had some big arc in Teapot and BFB and they're done with it. I felt like they were building up Tree's character to get people to like Tree so they could build up a storyline for Tree, and then it never ended up actually happening. And the fact people still like Tree and still vote for Tree, I feel like speaks a lot of his character. Just how much little they get, people still like Tree and want Tree to stay around. And if they do give Tree a big storyline, he will be a really popular character and the fans will most likely enjoy it. But it's just the writers clearly don't want to do that with Tree and want him eliminated, and it is actively making his character way worse. And I want to see other characters in The Power of Two that haven't competed in other seasons, besides BFB of course, get more screen time. Like, I don't really care to see more characters like Book and Pin and all these other characters when we've seen them play before in different seasons. I want to see more characters get more chances. It's like, I do enjoy some of the storylines with the other characters like Fanny and Black Hole, and that's because we don't really get to see that much of them in other seasons. But when Tennis Ball and Golf Ball are still getting an insane amount of screen time, it's like I've seen this for the past 4 seasons. And at some point, if they're just going to keep doing this and actively making the writing worse, they should just make the show contest and vote. I know that's a big stretch because that is a main part of BFDI is the viewer voting, but why not just switch to a style like an Insanity that they haven't done before? It would switch up the game and it would make it more interesting. And also, if you're going to purposely write out characters of the show and make them not liked by contestants, or fans, what's the point of having them on the show? Anyways, I hope Tree stays to this elimination, and hopefully the writers can finally see what they're doing wrong with Tree if they haven't realized it yet, and hopefully it gets a bigger plot in the story, and I really want to see more of Tree and Teapot.